Hi again, friends! Join me for a short recap of my 2 half days at Disneyland Paris and its neighbor Walt Disney Studios. On the first day, I entered Disneyland during the late afternoon. The park was still celebrating its 30th anniversary. As an avid visitor of Disneyland, California, I was greeted with an extremely familiar yet uniquely different Main Street. It felt like a beautiful alternate reality, a park I knew so well but not at all. Big Thunder Mountain Railroad was one of the most picturesque spots and quite possibly my favorite ride in the park. Indiana Jones and the Temple of Peril was a minecart roller coaster, and let's just say one I wasn't quite prepared for, but it was definitely fun. I absolutely loved all the gorgeous landscaping throughout the park and made a mental note to check out the maze the following day. I thought the area surrounding the entrance to Pirates of the Caribbean was fantastic. I ran through the caves and into Skull Rock before jumping into the boat. By the time I got out of the Pirate's Lair, the sun had set and the park dazzled with lights. I ended my first day with a spot to enjoy the mini drone show and fireworks, which happened much later in the night there than it does here in California. Day 2 started at Walt Disney Studios, where I was able to take an elevator which felt eerily familiar, but with an additional creepiness thanks to the little girl ghost.
Greetings, fellow toys. I'm Buzz Lightyear.
Toy Story's Playland was super cute and reminded me a little of the old Bugs Live section at DCA. Crush's Coaster was by far my favorite ride of the entire trip. Of course, I had to check out Ratatouille, the most French-feeling place in the park. And from there to the most un-French, Avengers Campus. Extremely similar to ours, but with an intensely fun roller coaster, Force Flight. Paris wins this round. Next, it was back to Disneyland while I still had a couple hours. As I walked in, I caught the tail end of a parade and then headed to the end of Main Street for a glass of champagne. Another point for Paris. I headed into the castle to check out the beautiful stained glass windows. Unfortunately, the dungeon below with the dragon was closed. I was super bummed. But it was cool to stand on the balcony and look out at the park. After a crazy ride on Hyperspace Mountain, which is very different from our mountain, I went back to Alice's Curious Labyrinth, a walk-through maze with cute sculptures that brought such a smile to my face. And once I found my way out, well, it was time to head home. A short but sweet trip. I didn't make it on everything, but perhaps that's just a reason to return. Lucky me, upon my exit, I ran into some of my favorite characters of all time, Bert and Mary. And just like that, the sign says it all. That's a wrap. As always, stay Disney.